October 8th, 2021. I should make mention that when I was at Long Island University CW Post, which is I think where I got the interview with Merrill Lynch, I also got an interview in the city. Believe at the time I was staying off campus. I was in transition. But I would have definitely have been in the house in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, with Lewis and Linda. My grandfather would have been deceased at the time. And I was called into the city for an interview, which I kept, and I went. I dressed exactly how I dressed, which was either a really dark navy blue, or it was almost blackish, or it was a black jacket with a below the knee length skirt and a pair of shoes that were very matronly, is what we call it at Respectable Things. My hair most likely would have been long and down, and then one barrette out of my face. And at the time, I really wasn't wearing makeup. Maybe some mascara, I'm not sure. And that was in the state of New York, which uses this symbology. It would have been late 90s, which is century 19, plus 9 decades before Benjamin. So it would have been plus year 6 or plus year 7, possibly plus year 8. I went into the city. I was nervous as anything because it was the city, and I don't know the city at all. I'm more Long Island and Queens. So I took, the Long Island Railroad in, and whatever subway would have been needed to have been to get to whatever building it would have been, which I don't remember the address. I don't remember the name of the company. I don't remember the building. I don't know Manhattan at all. And so I followed the directions that I was given by whomever, and I believe it was for either an executive assistant or an administrative assistant, but I really don't even know what the difference between the two of those positions are, considering I had just left St. John's High School in Queens and did not have much of I had a public school, for lack of a better term, education in New York. But I had the spiritual connection, which is the most important in global politics and should have been an instant hire. The man that I met with, or whatever, interviewed me, which I barely recollect, was very fast-paced, fast-speaking, which if I had gained access to his way of being and mannerisms, I would have picked up, and I would have been able to answer a lot faster, used to his algorithm. But in the moment of the first initial subsequent contact with the humans, I had no idea what he was referring to as he asked me questions, because I'm very quiet initially and demure, and in this environment in New York, I've had to take a moment. I don't rush to answer. I take a moment because sometimes I'm on a delay where the audio comes in, but I have to work through some logistics because of all the viral programming. No matter who speaks to me, it's that way. And then I answer. But I don't like to give the wrong answer. And on such an important interview, and he seemed like such an important man, I really was nervous and did not want to disappoint him or embarrass myself. I cannot remember the name of the company. Again, everything, it was almost like he had this this expectation that I knew things that I, until that point, had no idea that, and then that made me more nervous that somehow was unprepared, and I didn't know what I was unprepared for, because he was using all of this vocabulary about global and set the stage and politics and things like that, and I was digesting it. I just did not know what was expected of me in answers. I thought silence was the best policy, but apparently I was not accepted for the position. I left the building and I never heard from anyone again. And then I got some position, not a big position, and it wasn't in Manhattan, but it was for $8 an hour, like on a computer screen, entering data as a college side job, just for some money for gas and some food, to be able to buy supplies for myself for cosmetics and things, meaning shampoo and whatever, basics. More like a commissary, whatever, but $8 an hour, which in this money mechanic in New York does not take you nearly as far. So I did have one interview with something. I don't know what. I don't know if that's the Azerbaijani connection. I said, it sounds like a beautiful word. I said, I do not know what it means, and I apologize if you think that I should. But again, this gets really, really confusing because I don't know. I mean, I'm Frick and the Hague artwork collection, and apparently Azerbaijani was the last, according to the news media and television, it was one of the pieces of the Soviet Union before the Soviet Union broke up. They made mention of that on the television. I had heard of the Soviet Union. I did not know what his stance was on the Soviet Union, or I was not briefed on his level of knowledge of what the Union looked like, the history of it, that sort of thing. I mean, I would have done research at the library, I would have done anything but of what was expected of me, but at the time, I just walked into an interview and I did not know how one even, I mean, I thought you get called to an audition and then the director explains to you what their vision is and what it looks like and builds you a construct. I don't have anybody at falling out of my mother's whatever dream into this when she was a hairdresser. There was no guidance. There's no religion here in this Northern American New York. There's no religion whatsoever. It's a religioussless society of dormancy and reclusiveness. And there's nobody to learn from. There's nobody guiding. I mean, they may be in the enemy territory, but at sacred, like, artifacts, they're not. Again, I wasn't watching much television because I wasn't going to pursue that aspect. I would rather have books. I read in my dormitory the books as the professors. I studied, I mean, I didn't really leave. I didn't engage in community and sorority and that kind of thing, that American New Age Greek lifestyle, which isn't really Greek, it's more American and Tropicana Casino, but whatever. So now they let me go out of the interview, and then I never heard spoke to anybody ever again on the subject. How does one, if the director of Global meets with you and dismisses you and then never is seen or heard from ever again, but you still have an important part in Cocoon and the alien like space race, then how does one find where they belong and keep oneself safe? Because that was when I was 18. I got raped and impregnated at age 19 to 20, that gap. But at the time, I was still in a safe, honorable position when I met with Global. So I don't understand how that opportunity that was much needed just disappeared. And then all of a sudden the Great Grape became G taken away and I got raped and that was acceptable between age 19 and 20. And then every disgusting American tale and detail of nothingness and just trying to survive on my end while being chemically burned and so on and so forth, from the disgusting shipping contaminants and planetary dissolution, which is very dangerous. Exactly how was I supposed to survive, thrive, and keep myself safe, and whatever pieces of genetic material miraculously were created from my own genetic material? I'm just curious. Human. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It is October 8th, 2021. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I do not know the gentleman's name for which I had the interview. I do not know the building that I entered. I do not know the name of the global operative. I'm assuming it's Azerbaijani because of the very never heard of before ambiance of the name in Les États-Unis, in this nothingness that I have been meant to day label through in danger. But has something to do with this color when you add this color to it. And they made reference of the beautiful pieces of valise that their uniformed officers were wearing, although I did not take a pause and I did not study their features or anything. I kept my word. I just saw the one flag and the one word that they mentioned on a quick footnote on somebody else's program, and I don't know what station. I'm not going into detail. I just got confirmation as an Albanian, whatever I am, for Northern Italy ancestry, since that's another piece that seems to be coming up lately in respectable things in a Soviet Union that was broken, and I don't know why. And I know I stand Soviet by 5'6" by definition. I am Sovi, which is part of the ambiance. But I'm having trouble with the ambient obsession of humans, which is what those are. They're ambient, which I'm not a big proponent or fan of, but I've been left in the lurch at this point in New York with nothing to my name and no way of protecting myself from the humans. And being harmed, in harm's way every day.